man's got fire and a wild hot take. Andrew's stats make the whole place shake. Laughing loud when your team goes down. Straub boys run this sports town. Show. Sundays, Mondays, we live for the fight. College game day and Thursday night. Rivals fall and the banter flies. We bleed our teams till the day we die. S-T-R-A-U-E. Two loud mouths and a love for the league. From Cleveland roots to the world we go. This is the Straub Bro Sports Show. Show.
Welcome everybody to the Straub Bro Sports Show. Big Bro Ken checking in with you as always with Little Bro Drew. Bro, it's wedding week in the Straub family. Our younger cousin Cassidy is getting married this weekend. We wish her nothing but blessed and marital bliss, but I wanted to give that shout out nice and early. So other than the fact that I will see you on Saturday for finally something non-sports related, what's going on, little bro?
No, we're doing good. I want to say congratulations to Cassidy as well. However, this will now increasingly put the pressure on me, which is fantastic in itself. But no worries there. No, we're doing good. We're doing good. Can't complain.
You're officially
yeah, I know. And whatever. No, doing good. Football team, college side is doing good. NFL team couldn't really care less. But no, doing all right.
It's all right. I'm gonna make you talk about it anyways, but I want to give a shout out real quick. Mom will not be here tonight. She's doing an audit, so she sent her love early to me. Cuzzo is in nice and early. I think Cuzzo was in actually before we were actually in the lobby ready to do it ourselves. So he was the first one on board. But hey, it's time to get rolling. First things first. We're going to get this out of the way nice and quickly. Baseball sucks, and I'm not going to allow you to talk about it.
Good series, though.
What? Yeah, we do. We got some good series. We got some good series going on, but yeah, I'm definitely not about to talk about any baseball right now, although I'm rooting for the Dodgers. I'm going to put that out there. I'm not. Yeah, listen, get with. I'm already a Cowboys fan and a Notre Dame fan. It's not a far stretch. First of all, I got to get lucky and Red Panda.
For what possible reason do you have to root for the Dodgers?
Because I am a bitter man, and I don't want any former Cleveland Guardian to win a World Series. So give me the Dodgers.
That's crazy.
I know. So give me the Dodgers and let them just win again, and then we'll try again next year. Okay?
Okay.
That's all you got on that?
Moving on.
You want to talk baseball with me today?
I do not. Fair point.
So that means there's only one thing left to do, Drew. And actually, yes, there you go, right there. Because I'm a hater.
This is very fair, Nate.
There's nothing about that I care about, which means there's only one thing left to do, and that is, for one, me to make sure that everything is going okay on the Facebook. Yes, it is. Just had to double check. Sorry. The alert I got said differently, so technical difficulties were a lie. And that means it's time to jump into college, and it's time to get a hold of what happened last week. Now we're going to switch it up and do things a little differently. We're just going to roll through this top 25 graphic, and Drew is going to punch me in the side of the ribs from miles away to tell me when he wants me to stop and he wants me to talk about said game. And I think we're going to start off immediately with one. Mr. Raymond is in the building. And that's number 1 Ohio State, who took down Illinois 34-16. Drew, those Fighting Illini got beat up by Indiana. They turned it around, had a couple good games, but clearly there are levels in the Big Ten, and Indiana is not one of the top ones.
No, and I mean, we kind of also knew this coming in, but I think this is more of a testament to how just honestly, I know we talk about levels in the Big Ten. There's levels in college football right now, and Ohio State may be on a level all of their own right now. I have truly haven't seen an Ohio State team clicking on both offense and defense like this in quite a while. And so we'll keep watching because they obviously have more of the schedule to go. But no, this is a very, very dangerous team, and props to Indiana for even keeping it somewhat close at the end. So
Yeah, I mean, listen, we talk about this almost week in and week out at this point, but I got ahead of myself. That Buckeyes defense is it's smothering, it's hard hitting, they're ball hawks, they're good tacklers, they don't give up big plays. I mean, it's a complete defense. So for all the hating that I supposedly do on the Buckeyes when I'm allowed and when I actually have an opportunity to, it's different. This defense is legit. And the offense is now week by week by week starting to come along and starting to get it together. Now, I don't really trust this Illinois defense as a test, but like I said, nonetheless, still a good victory. The numbers, you got anything else? Okay. No, number 2 team in the country, Miami, was off this week. And then, wow, we had a big upset. Not a lot of people called, but somebody sneaky on the other side of me was hinting to this all show and all college preview. Oregon goes down 30-20 to Indiana. Drew, it's right here in my notes. Hoosiers, I wasn't familiar with your game. Okay, we didn't believe in the Illinois victory, especially now what we saw against Ohio State. But what did we talk about? Oregon is here. Ohio State is here. If you can take down one of these teams, we're gonna look at you differently. And Drew, I have no choice but to look at Indiana differently.
And I think you're absolutely right. I think the best part about that victory for Indiana, they didn't even play close to their best. They had an interception. They barely beat out Oregon in yards. They went 5 for 14 on third down. There wasn't a dominating performance by any means, but that makes it even better because that means that there's another gear for this team to hit that doesn't need to be hit to beat a team like Oregon on the road. And I think that is absolutely amazing to see because you can now point to this game and say, okay, Indiana, that's now your base. It's not your best.
Yeah.
It is your base. And the rest of the season, they don't play Ohio State. They play a Penn State team, which we will get into is not going to be the Penn State team that we thought they were.
Do you have confetti and party hats ready?
No, that was done on Sunday. But I will say the confetti and the party hats were for Penn State fans because I believe they're going to be okay from this.
Real quick,
but we'll move back to Indiana. This is a win that truly cements Indiana as, if not 1B, then 2.
Yeah. And here's my thing. So, yeah, as you said, the offense, I mean, they did score 30 points, but not the most outstanding game in terms of efficiency and things like that. But we have to talk about this defense. They held Oregon to 20 points. That's a win. Unless they had lost this game 17-20, that is an absolute win. They held Dante Moore 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions as well. The running game and the defense, that's what you have to hang your hat on when you don't have the offense clicking at all cylinders. Those big guys up front are always going to move other guys up front. The running backs are going to hit the holes. And on defense, when you got ball hawks, when you have guys who can just shut down not just a regular, not just a high-scoring college offense, an elite scoring offense as Oregon has been this year, that's everyone has to take notice. And like you said, the schedule is set up for them to just go and sit there and be in the Big Ten championship game waiting. So
And I think that's going to be interesting because I think, let's say Indiana runs the table here. I don't think, unless Ohio State absolutely drops 70 on them, right? Like Oregon did against Oklahoma State. I don't see any world that Indiana, if they run the table, does not make it into the CFP. Where, if I'm being completely honest, other than a handful of teams up there, like Miami, Ole Miss potentially, Texas Tech, because I'm really on the Texas Tech team,
Hmm.
I can see them going punch for punch with basically anyone on this top 25 list. Just based on that performance and knowing that wasn't their best.
I can't disagree with you because of what this defense is doing. I could care less. And this is just because of how much college football I watch and how many times these overs take out my parlays. All these teams can score. Okay,
Yes.
on all of these teams can score unless you're Iowa. There's no anemic offenses anymore. I know. But for the most part, you know what I mean? Everybody can score. So I'm impressed when you can hold some of these teams down. So that's why. And yes, and we're also, and I want to jump on something you had said. For some of these teams, the Notre Dames, your Texas, now Michigan, some of these teams that are falling or have fallen and are starting to come back, there is no room for error. Unfortunately, because of the college football world we live in now, for everybody almost in the top 7, there actually is. You can kind of slip up at this point now and know I'm only going to drop so far, and I got things I can put on the resume ahead of that. Want to give Pops a shout out? Of course he's late. No, but you go, Pops. You missed us.
We're Straubs.
Yeah, you missed us not talking about baseball, so you're good to go there. But we'll keep it going because this is another one. We got a lot up top to talk about, and then we'll kind of get through the middle. Ole Miss, 24-21 victors over Washington State. I do want to just mention this. We talk about trap games every week. One foot was in the trap door. One arm was hanging on the side, and Ole Miss pulled themselves out because there's a big one they got this week, but they almost tripped up with Washington State.
You're right. However, the issue is especially with Ole Miss, this is exactly how this Ole Miss team plays every year. They come out flying, they have a really good win, and then you start to see some cracks. But you're like, hey, they won, it's fine. And then they get to this part of the schedule, which we're going to talk about, the Georgias, the Oklahomas, stuff like that, and the Mississippi State, who is good this year again. And then you start to see those flaws become cracks and become gaping holes in their team. And so if they can squash that before it starts to get rolling, it'll be the first time that this Lane Kiffin Ole Miss team can do that. But it seems to be trending in that same direction.
You're not wrong, but at the end of the day, win the game.
You're undefeated.
Right, keep the 0 on the other side. But no, I don't disagree with you there. Texas A&M, we'll keep it short and sweet. They handled Florida, and right now, although there's a huge loss for them now that they lost their starting running back. So we're going to see what happens from there. But as of right now, with the way they're playing, you can't tell me there's a better team in the SEC. You could tell me there's one as good, but you can't tell me there's a team better right now in terms of what they're putting on the field and how they're winning games right now, better than Texas A&M.
No, I agree, and I think that it's all due to their. I mean, not all due, but it's a lot due to their defense because that defense is one of the best in the country, and the offense is playing safe and smart football, and I think that's what matters when you have a good of a defense. Is just put up some points, put up about 30, and you're going to be fine.
And that's the big separation between some of these top teams and kind of everybody else chasing that top of the pack are the defenses. Speaking of defenses, right. We had a good one in the Red River rivalry, not the Red River Shootout anymore. As Oklahoma goes down to Texas 23-6. I asked for it and I received it. Texas gets some juice. They get rolling. John Mateer, I cannot look at that game and go, oh, the hand was such a big problem. And Texas defense looked like the Texas defense that we talked about in week 1 against Ohio State. And hey, Arch Manning can play some ball.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say, I wouldn't even say it was because of Arch Manning. I would say it's because the offense was actually able to give the defense some time to breathe on the sideline. When you
Yeah.
looked at, Texas games that they were losing, it was 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. This defense didn't have any chance to rest, and that's why they gave up, 29 to Florida. But when you look at this game, this Oklahoma team, I don't think was prepared for the intensity that Texas was going to give them, and then was not able to truly come back to form. Like I said, I'm not going to blame Mateer's hand, but I'm sure some part of it wasn't right, and there were some decisions that potentially had some hesitations. But no, full credit to this Texas defense. They were given the breathers that they needed on the sideline. Texas barely won the possession battle, but if you look in the Florida game, they didn't by a mile. And so you give this Texas defense a chance to breathe, they can stop pretty much anyone in the country, and it kind of showed here.
Yeah. For Oklahoma, the thing we talked about is there was a big stretch of games here that they were supposed to be without Mateer. This was one that we had banked on them being without him. And we said if they go 1-3 through this stretch, they'd be okay. Well, they went 2-1. So I can't. Oklahoma's not out of it. But what I talked about, and I mean, it's going to continue this week for Texas because they are pretty much now, excuse me, in the same exact position that Notre Dame is in, and there's no room for error for Texas now.
No.
So at this point, it's kind of do or die every week. So we'll see how that ends up turning out for them. Let's keep it rolling down. The good ones were all at the top.
Yeah.
We talked about Indiana. And shout out, of course, as always, our guy Morgan Hill, #1 sports podcast in the world. We appreciate you. Alabama 27-24 winners over Missouri, and that score is a bit deceiving because Missouri basically scored a late touchdown with no time really left to be able to do anything after it. But Alabama takes out another ranked team in back-to-back weeks. I mean, it's time to put some respect on Kalen DeBoer's name. There was a lot of people who said this man was going to mess this up. They were going to fall off. Remember I said it in my prediction last year's. Be careful on this. The tide is over. Alabama is in prime position at this point to make the college football playoff and the SEC championship game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. Kellen DeBoer is no Nick Saban. He's not going to have teams shaking in their boots every week, but he's still a very good football coach and has unlimited supplies at his disposal to get the best players. And so when it comes down to it, you have a very, very good Alabama team. That is it a potential that Missouri or Vanderbilt maybe didn't see as big of a threat as they were because of the new coaching? Sure. But I think at the end of the day, that is still an Alabama team that should be top 10 in the country and is preparing for SEC championships, because the only thing that has changed is what the coaching style is. The coaching quality has not changed. The player quality has not changed. There just needs to be I think, a retraction from some of these people that were fully ready to just throw Alabama under the bus this season. And I think because we kind of talked about the back-to-back weeks. Yes, Missouri is very good. Vanderbilt is very good. There's levels, and Alabama is above that level. And if you don't come to play ready to take on that level of competition, this is what's going to happen.
The only difference this year is these other teams. And I know Indiana hasn't lost, but if they were to, or the Vanderbilts or the Missouris, there's still a chance for you. You can get knocked off by Alabama or Georgia, and you can kind of claw your way back in, excuse me, and still have a chance to get in there and make a play. So we'll see what happens. But no, the standard is the standard. Alabama, it looks like Alabama again, and that sucks for the rest of us. So we'll see. Texas Tech, big winners over Kansas, 42-17. Yep. Georgia Tech, 20-10 winners over Auburn. I'm
Georgia.
sorry. You said what?
Georgia, not Georgia Tech.
Oh, I apologize. Yes, Georgia. I was reading Georgia Tech and read Georgia. Georgia, 20-10 winners over Auburn. Auburn started great. I'm not going to lie, though. There was some bad calls at the very beginning of that game. There was a touchdown taken off the board that should have been a touchdown. And then there was a targeting call that got put in. And literally from those two plays on, Georgia rolled. It was done from there. All the momentum had been punched out of Auburn's sails, and that was it. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
LSU 20-10, also winners over South Carolina. Hey, remember the Tigers? Remember
No.
them? I know we're some haters, but kind of creeping in there. Number 11, kind of just winning every week. I'm just saying. Listen, I don't want to give them any love, but we got to. Tennessee struggled, but we're victorious. 34-31 over Arkansas. Apparently, as long as Arkansas plays in the SEC, they're playing a close game. Anybody else, they're in trouble. But when they come to play in the SEC, is a big time there. Georgia Tech, hey, 35-20 winners over Virginia Tech. We talked about Missouri. Let's park the bus for a minute. Michigan. Losers 31-13 to USC. Drew, we talked about it. We literally said this game was prime for Michigan. Slow it down, run the football, play good defense, make it a Big Ten game. Don't this isn't a track meet. This is the weight pool, or the toss or whatever, the hammer throw, all that stuff. This isn't the track, and they got ran.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, it just boils down to this Michigan defense is not as good as previous years.
Nope.
We fully expect this, because if this is Michigan's defense from 1, 2, 3 years ago, this USC team is putting up 10, 17 points. They're not putting up 31. But that's the issue. It's not the same defense. And when your offense can't continue to do anything like it has, this defense isn't saving you like it has in years past.
No, the defense isn't saving you, and I think it's fair at this point to make some jokes, and neither is the game tape from the other teams. This Michigan team has not been able to maintain the standard except for one bit of a year after Jim Harbaugh has left, and it does not look good. I'm going to be honest. When you start looking at the recruiting rankings, when you start looking at the extras, it's not trending in a great direction right now. But at the end of the day, if they take them out, if they beat the Buckeyes again, Michigan's going to go, you know what? We'll be all right. We got you next year. So, and that's the ups and downs of college football. Hey, my guy Justin in the building. What's going on, bud? But we will see. Speaking of, we will see. Yes, give me some love. I was nervous, but Notre Dame 36-7 over NC. Yeah, listen. Oh yeah, and there he is. We did just get done talking about Alabama. My guy is a big Tide fan. I was nervous. Yes, 36-7. We lost our starting center. That's the biggest thing and the biggest takeaway for me coming out of that game. But yeah, we took care of business. All right, cool. Whatever. You know how I am. Don't be mad at me. I'm a pessimistic fan. We talked about Illinois. BYU 33-27 over my Arizona Wildcats. BYU can score some points. That defense is going to get them clipped. I've said it multiple weeks, but it's coming because they can't stop a nosebleed right now. So eventually is going to get them clipped. Virginia and Vanderbilt on a bye this week. Arizona State, see ya. Oof. It was good. It was good coming back in the top 25. They got smoked 42-10 by Utah. The Pac-12. Man, I can't help myself. The Big 12 is a mess.
This was how it was last year, so I can't even but that's what I'm saying. They call it a mess. I think there is just I want to say there's about 5 to 6 teams that are a good of about between 18 and 30. And I think that's the issue. You got your Arizona States last year and your Texas Tech this year that are going to be in your top 10, your top 15s. But then the rest are right in that range. And so on a good or bad day, anyone can take out anyone. And I think that's what we're seeing here.
100%. Speaking of the Big 12 is crazy. Iowa State losers to Colorado 24-17. We talked about this though. Iowa State, it started to not look good, especially last week against you. They come in against this Colorado team at home. You can make fun of all my love for Coach Prime all you want. Boulder is still not an easy place to go to while he's been there. But nobody other than Texas Tech, nobody in the Big 12 is a team that I can look at. Even you, even your Bearcats.
No, you're definitely right.
Nobody in the Big 12 I can really look at and go, okay, yeah, I put you here. I think there's a path for you. Texas Tech is really that only team. And even then, I'm still a bit skeptical, although they've at least continued to take care of business week in and week out. Memphis, who were newcomers to the top 25, were off this week. USF, right back to business, 63-36 over North Texas. The thing that's going to keep USF out is the schedule. They needed to clip off every single ranked team that they had. They got it almost done, other than getting beat up by Miami. But the rest of the schedule along the way is just it's not good.
And that might help them, if we're being honest, though. If they can roll out and your only loss is to the number 2 team in the nation, the committee might give that to you.
Yeah, I mean, they may be looking at the highest ranked outside of the power or outside team looking in, so it may be a chance. And then last but not least, when the wheels fall off, they take the doors too. Florida State goes down to Pitt, 34-31. I'll be honest, not the coach that I thought would have been fired this week was not the one who got fired, because after this loss, I seriously had a conversation with myself and said, there's no way Florida State can keep Mike Norvell now at this point.
I mean, all props to Pitt. They're having a pretty good year, 4-2. They've clipped off some good teams. They played close for a couple teams. Right. No, but this is what I'm saying. Like, this is a Pitt team that looks better, probably as good as it's been since Pickett was there. But yeah, no, man, if you go from your first year in there from being a borderline CFP contender, if you don't lose your quarterback, to having one of the worst second seasons in probably Florida State history, and then now just continuing to crumble after that Virginia loss, it's not looking good over there. And I'm sure, honestly, they'll probably give him a chance to turn it around because they probably have a lot of money in him. They want to see if he's able to do it, because the schedule does get easier after the Stanford, Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, NC State, Florida. It does get easier, so they can pull out, a 8-3, 7-3, 9-3 win season and kind of get back right. But if this continues, I don't think he's lasting there long.
The problem for him is they've now had evidence to show when it gets bad, it gets worse.
Correct.
So, and I think that might be the thing that's going to ultimately cost him the job. I don't see it getting better. And the other thing is, if you're going to be banking on this portal year in, year out, it has to hit. Because if you're not hitting, you have nothing to fall back on. And that's the thing that's hurting him the most. When these top portal guys aren't hitting for him, he doesn't have the good enough recruits to then fall back on and come through and be able to help this team out. So, but that's the rest of your top 25. Or that is your top 25 breakdown. But let's get a little bit further into the weeds. It's time for the very, very copied but unable to be duplicated Drew's quarterback watch. Drew, break down the top quarterbacks this week.
Yes. So we got some cool ones. And coming from what I called a Jameis Winston-like performance to all the way to a top performance, Tucker Kilcrease from Troy tops our list this week. 415 passing yards and 5 touchdowns. No interceptions, no fumbles, just straight throwing dimes. Absolutely love to see it. Another one who has been a consistent on our list, and I love it. Micah Elahado from Hawaii. 413 passing yards, 3 tutties, and a pick. I know I usually don't like picks, but I love it there. Our dual threat of the week by a mile, Demond Williams, Jr. from Washington. 402 passing yards and 2 passing touchdowns. 136 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. That man just did it all, and it was absolutely incredible to watch that man play. I rewatched some highlights that I wasn't able to catch the game, and at any time there was a highlight on the screen for Washington, he was the one making the play. It was absolutely phenomenal to watch. For UNLV, Anthony Colandrea, 361 passing yards and a tutty. Jake Retzlaff for Tulane having a sneaky good year, 347 passing yards and 2 tutties. Evan Simpson from Temple, apparently I'm hitting just all of the group of 5 this week. 345 passing yards, a passing and a rushing touchdown. And Brock Lowry from Western Michigan. We get some action back in here. 241 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 108 rushing yards, and a rushing touchdown. Listen, there were some close games this week and a lot of good quarterback play, but I needed to shout out some of these games because during this time, we get caught up in all of the top 25 matchups and the close games and the Power 5 conference games. But then you tend to look back at the scoreboard and you go, wait, Temple put 60 on somebody? How the hell did that happen? And this is why you need to shout it out, because you need to show that these guys are doing it on a week-to-week basis too, even when they're not getting the spotlight.
Okay, but you could at least sneak like one Power 5 guy in.
I'll throw Brendan Sorsby in next week. Don't worry about
it. There we go. All right. Well, see, here's the thing. I'm about to bring all of this energy down to a crashing halt. So, for the first time all week or all year, we had a losing record in locks, and not only is it the first week we had a losing record, this is the first time we didn't go way above 500. Eastern Carolina and Tulane, FU, Michigan State, UCLA, right back at you. Cincinnati, come on.
It was a bad beat. That was a real bad beat. We were up. What was that, 17?
Yeah.
And they scored a late touchdown with like a minute and a half left after completing like a 4th and 15. It was that was a bad beat on our end. And I apologize for that.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Indiana, Oregon. No, thank you. Nebraska -6.5 to Maryland. No, thank you. Our only team to come through for us. Can't read, can't write, can't state. Get it done for us. -2.5 over UMass. That was it. However, though, as bad as we did in locks, let's go. We are at 14 upsets picked on the year. Colorado, thank you. Indiana, thank you. UCLA, thank you. So, not too bad there, but like I said. How about them Badgers? You are a terrible human being, and I love it.
Listen, any coach that loses 37-0 to this Iowa team deserves to get fired, no matter who it is. Listen, is it enjoyable to watch Luke Fickell struggle at his new team? Absolutely. However, I would be calling for this coach's head if it was Marcus Freeman. That's bad, man. You cannot lose that bad and get blanked by Iowa. I'm sorry.
Get blanked by Iowa. Hold on a second, because they weren't ranked. So we didn't talk about it. And I almost forgot, and we were about to move on. Earlier this weekend, or I should say late this weekend, Penn State relieved James Franklin of his head coach responsibilities. Drew, you are now 2 for 2 on your coaches being fired predictions. Not the exact prediction that you necessarily want to be nailing, but your thoughts on them finally parting ways with Big Game Frank.
Well, I want to say it's good for both ends. One, because James Franklin gets $50 million. I'm not upset if anyone hands me $50 million, no matter how bad of a job I did. But it for Penn State, this is, and I think this, in my heart of hearts, I think this is the right move because for the past about 5 years, you have been in an endless cycle of play really well, cannot win the big game. Play really well, cannot win the big game. And you blamed it on the quarterback issue because your defense was so great and you had great running back and a great offensive line, but the quarterback wasn't there and the receivers weren't there and it was disjointed. And then you got your quarterback and you went, this is the year. He is a first round pick level quarterback that is starting to play like one and he's up there and he's ready. And then the second you get to a big level team, you do the exact same thing you do every single year. And then because the game wasn't in week 10, it was in week 5. The fall off and the crumbling of the Penn State team that typically happens in week 10, so we kind of overlook it because we go, oh, they know their season's over. You had plenty of opportunity to get back into this before the Ohio State game. You completely fall apart. This team completely loses confidence in its head coach. Is not playing hard, is letting receivers just streak down the field, and notoriously really good Penn State defense. And then to top it all off, you lose your quarterback for the season. So when you see that, that is the biggest nail in the coffin for James Franklin because it is something that has always happened, but now is being shown that it's going to happen every single year until you get rid of him. And I think the best thing you can do that is say, listen, we appreciate you turning this program around after the scandal and the awfulness that was the previous regime. Thank you so much. There's the door. Because I think you, with the funds you have and the Big Ten just getting tougher and tougher, you need something new.
That was much more tame than I thought it was going to be.
I'm not happy about it just because I called it. I'm upset when Penn State loses these big games because I want them to be competitive and they're not.
Here's the thing. The UCLA game or the Oregon game was the Oregon game. Okay. We said, okay, that's what you do, but you're good. The UCLA game was like, all right. But then at least now UCLA looks like a completely different team. They completely turned that season around or starting to. Northwestern, bro. You lost to Northwestern at academics? At the academic challenge? Is that where you lost
Even
to Northwestern?
then, Penn State's pretty smart anyway, so they shouldn't be doing that either.
No, I understand, but still, that's where you lost to Northwestern. Oh, you lost to Northwestern on the football field? No, you got to get the hell about the state, bro. I'm sorry. You got to go. The problem is now who's next for them. Here's what I'll give you. Names have been floated. What?
I've been hearing a rumor.
Yes, there's a very big rumor that they're going to make a run at Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame's Marcus Freeman. That would be a terrible coaching decision in my opinion. He's sitting on a gold mine of NIL, unlimited contracts, and a walk into the college football playoffs. If he goes to Penn State, he has to go and beat Ohio State and Oregon and USC when they're back. Like that's.
Can I be honest though?
Yeah.
Well, listen, Marcus Freeman, I don't think he should leave. I think he's in a perfect spot. I think you're absolutely right. Marcus Freeman is a Penn State type coach. You look at Marcus Freeman and you go, yeah, that man could run Penn State and literally run the exact same way James Franklin did and every coach before him did, because that's exactly how Marcus Freeman coaches his team. Great defense, good run game, decent quarterback.
You know what kind of coach Marcus Freeman is? That kind of coach. Okay? He's that kind of coach. All right? Stop trying to take my coach. Other names that have been floated, Matt Campbell from Iowa State. Don't think he's ready yet. The interesting name two names that are interesting. One that I think is interesting, and one that everyone else thinks is interesting, especially based on his answer. The first one is Curt Cignetti at Indiana. I love it. I'm not that. Yeah, see, yeah, stop trying to take our coach. I love that idea. If I'm Penn State, I'm just backing the Brinks truck up and go. You bring that on over here. The problem that they're having right now is they didn't fire James Franklin as Indiana is almost through the playoffs, or it's so early that I don't think Cignetti would be willing to even entertain a conversation right now when he's got what he's got right in front of him, although he would not be the first coach to do that, Brian Kelly.
It was the U problem of a couple years ago when you fired Brian Kelly. There were so many rumors that Luke Fickell was looking at the job. We were in the middle of our CFP run. He wasn't leaving that right then. And then you had already picked a successor by the time that he was done. And so I think that was kind of that's the same problem.
No, I agree. So I don't think that one would work. The other name that has been floated, Matt Rule of Nebraska. And when asked about that Penn State job, he basically said, I really like it here at Nebraska. There was no, I'm not going there. It wasn't downplayed very well. So there's been some rumors swirling there.
I thought it'd be a bad fit.
I don't think it's a good fit. Number one. Number two, you haven't proven to me quite yet that you've even come through on my prediction of Nebraska being back this year, back to that a different level this year for me to offer you a job that big. To me, of all of those names that are floated, only one seems reasonable to me, and that is Curt Cignetti. I would be backing the Brinks truck up and trying to go and get him. I don't think now, yes, I have Homer in this, but I don't think Marcus Freeman would. I think going to Penn, and you can call me wrong, I think going to Penn State is a step down. I don't think going to Penn State makes sense for a guy at Notre Dame, or if he was at Ohio State, or if he was at an Alabama or a Georgia. I don't think Penn State's there.
That's truly, honestly, I think how he interprets both programs. Because while we agree
about this anymore.
Well, we agree that Notre Dame, I think, is historically just the better program and the more historic program. A lot of people do view Penn State as a bigger, better job.
They are. A bigger, better job than Notre Dame. I'd go to the mattress on that. But I do agree with you. They are an upper echelon job in college football. That is for me. If I'm a coach, that's almost a sideways move. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't. Why do I want to go to the Big Ten and have to? I mean, I get that these guys want to compete on the biggest level. Why does a coach
that went to the CFP want to go to a middle to low middling Big Ten team and now not have a win in the Big Ten? I don't know the answers to those questions, Ken. They just do. And we have to question them and ask why they do it.
The Cincinnati job, first of all, is not either of these jobs. Second of all,
neither is Wisconsin. What do you mean? Neither is Wisconsin.
But 100%, he gambled that going to Wisconsin would get him the Big Ten job or the Buckeyes job when Ryan Day got fired. We all thought Ryan Day was going to be fired, and now he's never being fired. Well, unless he loses to Michigan this year. But either way, he gambled and it went wrong. So, all right. We're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to jump into this week's college football week. And there's a new member of the top 25 that we will definitely have to talk about.
What's up, Rapids fans? It's Ken Straub, your voice of the Rapids. And our first season is in the books. So now it's time to announce your 2025 PAFL All-Stars from your Cuyahoga Falls Rapids. And we start with the first team. Running back, Monte Taylor. Wide receiver, Sean Smith Jr. Defensive end, Josh Davis. Defensive back, Mari Mitchell. Defensive tackle, offensive line, Dustin Dodd. DB, Anthony Spooney. Offensive lineman, Corvez Bolware. Kicker, Bobby Rhodes Jr. And for your second team, linebacker, Mark Hale. Wide receiver, Darwin Filey. Defensive back, Sham Wright. Offensive guard, defensive tackle, Nathan Pritchard. Linebacker, Boom Lumbus. Defensive lineman, DeAndre Stevens. Honorable mention, unable to play in the game due to injury, linebacker, Mike Marshall. Congratulations to all of our Rapids All-Stars, and stay tuned because the wave is spreading.
Alrighty then. Let's do it, Drew. Let's get on to this week. I'm gonna put it up there just for a second, and then it's gone. All right. Let's run through the big games this week. We have a lot of good games on this week. Let's start with your Straub's sneaky watchables. We start Friday. We kick off the good ones on Friday. Louisville travels down to Miami to take on number 2, the Hurricanes, 7 o'clock Friday on ESPN. I mean, Drew, this is kind of simple. This Miami defense cannot take a week off, or they're going to find themselves 21-21 in the second quarter going, wait, what? Other than that, a good defensive performance from these Hurricanes should make bad weather for the Cardinals. That was a good one.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, and I think they'll be okay just because I think Louisville has started slow pretty much every game this season. Hence why they lost to Virginia 2 weeks ago. But the issue is with Louisville, they cannot start slow against this Miami team because this Miami defense just gets better as the game goes on. And so I think they'll put up some points, and Louisville, listen, every year is bound for an amazing game where they seem to be doing no wrong. I don't think that this is the game. I think this Miami team is much, much better. Last year, absolutely. This year, I think Miami takes it.
Yeah, I agree. Something to watch for. I'm gonna play with some spreads and things like that. But yeah, I don't foresee this being an issue for Miami. I'm just gonna point it out though. This is also a Friday game. Anytime these you move the games around, you go too early or you move them back a day, you upset that rhythm. That's how upsets happen. So we will see. Another one on that sneaky list, number 24. Welcome to the top 25. Nebraska takes on Minnesota, 8 o'clock on Friday. This Minnesota team has kind of been up and down, a little punchy. Nebraska has played down to some teams, and that's as much as I want them to be back. This has kind of been my issue with them. We're still kind of playing down to our competition, and while we're also playing up to the better teams, better than we have in years past, we still haven't broken this bad habit, and that's why this game is on that list.
I think you're right. I think the only thing for me is Minnesota's actual wins have been Rutgers by 3, Purdue by a touchdown, and then you beat Northwestern State and Buffalo. There's nothing there that's going to tell me that Nebraska's going to have a hard time.
Punchy. I'm trying here. Leave me alone. And then lastly, this would have had Arizona State not absolutely got demolished last week. This would be on the next graphic. But number 7, Texas Tech travels to Arizona State. I mean, the reason this game is still here is because every time we do count Arizona State out, they punch their way back in and take somebody out. So Texas Tech is on alert this week.
Yeah, no, I think Texas Tech has to play how they've been playing, but you can't lose 42-10 to Utah, a team that Texas Tech blew out, and expect me to give you a legit chance against a Texas Tech team. So I'm all on this Texas Tech team.
I agree. I'm just this one, especially if it was night. I know 4 o'clock. It's going to be almost basically 900 degrees there in Arizona, but just something to watch for. We'll move on over to Straub Bros Big Saturday. We've got 4 huge ranked matchups. 3 take place in the SEC. 1 takes place independently with the greatest college rivalry of all time, but we'll get to that one at the end. We start at noon on ABC. Number 10 LSU at number 17 Vanderbilt. Drew, no room for error. Vanderbilt, LSU both have losses under their belts now, both losses in the SEC. This is starting to get to a point where these ranked SEC matchups are no longer just big games, they're SEC championship game eliminators.
And I think that's a perfect way to put it, because I think if LSU comes in, puts in a great performance, and rolls away with the win against Vanderbilt, you go, all right, yeah, Vandy's good, but they're middle SEC, better than they have been in. But but if Vanderbilt comes in and takes this win, and takes the win away from LSU, we look at this Vanderbilt team and go, all right, they're staying alive. But then we look at this LSU team and go, yeah, no, there is no way after that loss that I could say that you were going to come back from this, because you were supposed to be the better team here. You were supposed to come in and win. I'm not saying Vandy is bad, but Vandy is definitely supposed to be a step below you. And if you can't pull this off and you can't win this game, then we cannot be talking about you in any sort of SEC championship ideas.
Yes.
Correct.
This is very correct. Not a single team on this graphic can afford to lose this week. Brian Kelly, don't you dare lose this game. Don't you dare lose this game. I'm going to clear out 25 minutes just to talk about it. Don't you dare. I swear I will. I'll be playing the press conference. All right. That'll be 20 minutes of it. And then we'll talk.
Yelling at reporters.
So, I mean, LSU is lucky this is a noon game. I mean, Vanderbilt, not a hard place to go and play. Neither was Missouri. You need night games. You need everything you can in this. This looks like LSU should pull away late, but just listen, Vanderbilt's sneaky, and this would be the way for them to go, you know what? We couldn't clip Bama, but I'm going to get one of you. So we'll see there. Saturday, we stay right in the SEC. We move right over to 3:30 on ESPN. Number 5, Ole Miss takes on number 9, Georgia. Drew, here's the test for Ole Miss. Here's the test for Lane Kiffin. All right. Perennial powerhouse, multinational championship, multi-SEC championship. Georgia staring you right in the face. Kirby Smart, undoubtedly and unarguably the best coach in the SEC. The standard right now in the SEC, now that Nick Saban is no longer there. Here it is. It's right here for you. You take them out, and your path to the college football playoff gets way, way bigger.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think, listen, game day's coming. All eyes are going to be on this game. They are ready to see what you have. And my prediction, same old Ole Miss, same old Lane Kiffin. I think Georgia knows exactly how to play Lane Kiffin like a fiddle, make his quarterback uncomfortable and throw throws he probably shouldn't make. This is such a Georgia comeback victory written all over it that I cannot. Very similar to Tennessee. There is no way I can say that Ole Miss or Tennessee is going to beat Georgia when I literally have not seen it with my own eyes.
I'll let that linger. I'm not 100% like in there, and I was talking SEC. All right, so should I do it then? Should I do it? Because game day is going to be there too, right? I'll turn my mic down a little bit. Who's that coming down the track? Okay, no. I won't go full game. I won't go full Pat McAfee. Yeah, this is tough, man. However, the thing that hurts Ole Miss is this is supposed to have been the year of breakouts for some of these teams. Your Vanderbilts, your Missouris, the Iowa States, some of these teams coming along. We're here now. No, you're not. I just wonder if LSU or if Ole Miss is that team. I mean, the swaggers.
We've been let down all year about those teams.
I know.
We need somebody to break through.
And the swagger's been a little bit different this year. I know the defense is suspect as always, because I don't even know if Lane recruits guys on defense, but the offense is going to put up some points. So if Georgia finds himself in a hole and that defense can become opportunistic, and because the offense is predictable, that's when you could have some things happen. But we will see. I'm not 100% sure I want to lean that way, but it could happen. I would definitely like it if it was flipped and Ole Miss was at home. Now, let's
yeah.
get to Saturday night under the lights down in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, as number 11 Tennessee take on number 6 Alabama. Drew, 2 ranked teams under Alabama's belt, a third one on the way. However, this one isn't Vanderbilt and this one ain't Missouri. This one is Tennessee, who clipped you last year, took the goalpost into the river, marked it on Apple Maps. Now it's time to head on the road. Is it possible for Tennessee to do it again, or roll tide roll?
The issue is, right,
Roll tide.
because I think most people think of Tennessee as above Missouri and above Vanderbilt, right? That's a general feeling. Who has Tennessee won to really deserve that right this season?
Ooh.
They started off with beating a Syracuse team that's now 3-3. They then blew it against Georgia, a team that Alabama beat. They beat Alabama Birmingham. They had to go to overtime to beat Mississippi State, and they beat Arkansas by 3. What game in there is telling me that you are going to go in to Tuscaloosa and beat a team that has now won against 2 ranked up-and-coming SEC teams that have good wins under their belts and also beat Georgia? There's nothing to tell me there. Your quarterback play hasn't been that great. Your running game hasn't been that great. Your defense has been suspect a lot of times this season. And Alabama has taken advantage of a lot of suspect defense. There is no avenue I can go down to give Tennessee the benefit of the doubt here. My entire soul says Alabama is going to walk away with this win, and I'm going to have to go with it.
I mean, how am I supposed to even make a case for Tennessee after you just ran through the schedule like that?
That's the problem. There is no case for this Tennessee team.
You know what the case is? Gold helmets, touching signs, touchdown Jesus, touching rocks, Maze pants, Enter Sandman. That's what Tennessee has. It's a rivalry game. None of that matters. None of it matters. Tennessee has every bit of a chance just because they want nothing more than to go ruin Alabama's season.
Sure. And then Alabama will come in business as usual because I don't think they see this as a rivalry. And they will play business as usual. Todd Simpson will throw for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns and run for 1. And it'll be 24-18 or 17 Alabama.
With that being said, Alabama by 50.
Exactly.
Moving on. All right. It's time for the heavyweight matchup.
Oh, yeah.
The greatest rivalry in college sports. The battle of the Golden Shillelagh. The battle of the Golden Shillelagh. Number 20 USC takes on number 13 Notre Dame. Just a powerhouse match. All right, no, let's be serious for a second. If you thought I was nervous the past 2 weeks, I don't know what the hell you think you're about to get out of me right now. The only so here, this is what I can hang my hat on right now. The defense has looked good the past couple of weeks. However, However, the defense last year would shut these other teams out and then bend but not break against good teams. This team this year is giving up a crap ton of points to good teams and is bending and not breaking against bad offenses. You turn this to a track meet, USC is going to put 50 on you real quick. The only thing that helps us, we got some playmakers on defense. We got some ball hawks. We can score 2. You got to stop us on offense, but we can also run the clock and kind of take some time away and hope this defense can get rested and try to make a stop. But I'm scared.
Listen, those 2 games that you gave up a crap ton of points were in the first 2 weeks of the season. So I'm not gonna count those against you. When the past 3 weeks you've given up an average of 9 points. I'm I'm not worried about your defense. You just got to do what Michigan didn't do and actually play defense against this USC team, and you'll be okay. And the only thing that I would have been nervous about, which you've proven time and time and again, is not the case as it's been the previous years. You just got to have a competent offense against this USC team, and that's what you did. Illinois put up 32.
Yeah.
Michigan State put up 31. Purdue put up 17, for God's sake. Georgia Southern put up 20. They are going to give up points. And so as long as you can look competent on offense and you play how you've been playing on defense, I'm not saying you're going to blow them out like you've been the past couple of weeks, but you got a real good shot at this.
Man, listen, you hyping me up. That kid can sling the rock. CJ Carr is legit, and he's still a kid. He's still a baby. So there's more time left for him to grow. The running backs are moving. The loss of the center is huge. We will see how that affects just the communication back and forth with the quarterback, the snap, and some of the run game. But I mean, if those teams can put up those points, we should put up 40.
That's what I'm saying.
However, let's get back to down to earth. Like I said, my other resident Irish fan, he will not be watching. He'll be at the wedding.
We're at the wedding
with you guys. I will be leaving that wedding after it is over to go to another wedding, which I will be painstakingly trying to hide my phone at the reception to try to sneak in on the score. I don't know about that quite yet.
Stop it right now.
Yeah, you can't have two losses right now with the landscape of college football, the two losses that we have, and have him in that race, but we will see there. But yeah, that'll do it for your ranked matchups. And I got to do this for my guy. Let's hit the rest. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong graphic. Let's hit the rest of the top 25. Ohio State takes on Wisconsin.
I want them to drop 100 on them.
Drew will enjoy doing that review next week.
I will watch that game. That will be on a second screen in my house.
Indiana takes on Michigan State this week. More on that game here in a second. Teaser. Texas A&M takes on Arkansas. Alabama, Tennessee. We did all those. Oregon takes on Rutgers. Yeah, sure.
What a game.
Right. Georgia Tech takes on Duke in a game that they are currently underdogs in.
That's wild.
Yeah. Oklahoma takes on South Carolina. Oklahoma better be careful. The schedule,
snowball.
You're starting to head into this SEC schedule, and it's not all sunshines and rainbows. That is for sure. BYU takes on Utah in a game
the
that
Mormon Bowl.
Yeah, it's called the Holy War, for the record. Number one, number two. This is it. This is it. We've been talking about it for weeks. I said it 20 minutes ago. BYU has been primed for an upset because that defense cannot stop anyone. This Utah team can put up points on almost anyone. So look for that one. Missouri takes on Auburn. We'll see if War Eagle can get rolling again and maybe make some upset, make it 2 in a row for Missouri, or if Missouri can bounce back. Virginia takes on Washington State. South Florida, this is that schedule we're talking about, man, takes on Florida Atlantic.
Woo, in basketball, right?
Exactly. Newcomers to the top 25, USC. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I don't know. Yeah, USC. Welcome on in. As we said, they do take on Notre Dame. Texas, welcome back to the top 25, coming in at number 21, take on a Kentucky team that they need to keep that momentum with and can just continue to roll. Speaking of teams that don't have a good enough schedule to get them vaulted up, Memphis takes on UAB on the CW, followed by an episode of Charmed. I don't even know if it's actually on the CW. I just hadn't worked that joke in a couple weeks.
It's on ESPN too, all right? We're on an actual channel, all right? Let's relax.
Terrible. I did not give Utah credit for their ranking. They are number 23. Welcome into the top 25. As I said, that's a top 25 matchup with BYU, which is, I don't know why I didn't have that on the graphic. I missed that one. So that one's right here. That one's right here on this guy right here. But we talked about it. And newcomers to the top 25, Nebraska, they take on Minnesota, as we talked. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Number 24. Welcome back to the top 25, little bro. Cincinnati Bearcats, 5-1 on the year. You take on Oklahoma State. Don't you blow it.
Oh my God. That's my biggest concern is we're gonna go to Stillwater and just lay an absolute egg and never re-enter the top 25. Listen, it happened last year. We were 5-1 last year with one loss, and we decided to just lose 5, 6, 7 in a row to end the season. And we're just like, oh, okay, yeah, that tracks.
Watching, go ahead.
It we have such a better offense, and the defense is actually stepping up and bending, not breaking, and we look so much better and levels better than the past 2 years. I am turning into you, where every week is like, don't fuck this up, don't mess this up, don't do this to me, because unfortunately Notre Dame, listen, they lose to a team, they drop 5, 6 spots at most. We lose, we're never seeing the 25 again. That team will never be in there, no matter how good we look.
Watching you watch that game, because we were together, the last game of the year last year while you were trying to get bowl eligible, and losing that game was just the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. So I'm glad to have you back in the top 25 one more time for you there, just in case disaster strikes and you're not back next week. There it is for you one more time. All right, Drew. I had a bad week, but I'm back.
Let's go.
Time for big bros, big bets. Let's get cooking. First things first. Here's your spreads. Top 25. Got a couple in there. Sneaky good ones. What I did this week, changed it up a little bit. You have every spread in the top 25 that is under 14 points. You want to go look back at some big ones? That's on you. I ain't touching them right now. So Miami, 13.5. Nebraska, 8.5, as you see there. And then Ken's Chef Specials. We've got San Jose State plus 3.5 over Utah State. Ken, why do you have an underdog in Ken's Specials? Because they're my specials, and me and Ken Numalata at San Jose State, that's my guy, and that's how I'm rolling. Honorary Bearcat here. In what way?
Long story short, he went to he traveled down to Cincinnati while I was there. I made him an honorary Bearcat because he roots for Baldwin Wallace. So we're giving him the benefit of the doubt there.
First of all, I'm an honorary Bearcat. I'm the Bearcat because I'm a Bedford Bearcat. All right. So put some respect on us. Moving on. Cal minus 9.5 to North Carolina. Drew, Bill Belichick was adamant. He is not leaving North Carolina. Should they just fire his ass anyways?
I was going to say, I don't think that's really up to him. So we'll see what happens there. Listen, the documentary's been canned. He might be as well. So
absolutely. And yes, we're going to try and win us some money. Michigan 5.5 to Washington. My Arizona Wildcats, they are now favored. It was plus 1.5 Arizona. They're now minus 1.5 against Houston. TCU minus 2.5 to Baylor. Toledo minus 26.5 to Kent State. Don't sleep on my golden flashes, okay? Northwestern, can they keep the momentum going against Purdue? Minus 3.5. Clemson still sucks, but they make the graphic minus 9.5 against SMU. Florida playing some decent ball, or at least trying to. They are minus 9.5 against Mississippi State. My Louisiana Raging Cajuns plus 3.5 against Southern Miss. UCLA off to a hot start, minus 3.5 against Maryland. And just because. Florida State minus 17.5 to Stanford. I'm just saying. He loses this game, he is not coming home. All right. Here we go. Let's get back to it. It's time for my locks of the week. Give me Michigan minus 5.5 over Washington. Yes, the Wolverines bounce back. It's bad, but it ain't that bad. Georgia Tech at Duke under 61.5. Ain't no way in hell both these teams scoring that many damn points. If I'm wrong, my bad. Wyoming at Air Force under 58.5. Both teams can score. Air Force can score. I think this one's going to slow down. My risky one of the week, but I really truly believe in this based on the way both teams have both teams have played. Michigan State plus 27.5 versus Indiana. 2 reasons. Michigan State has played every good team that they've played tough, and they've kept it close. Indiana it's got to slow down at some point. Not saying they're going to lose this game, but at some point, you're not going to 30 ball people and win by 30 every week. So give me Michigan State plus 27.5. Give me the Texas Tech Arizona State over a 50.5. Forget some defense. We're playing Pac-12 football. And I got a 2-for-1 special. Give me Texas minus 12.5 over Kentucky. And give me the over of 42.5. I like Texas to get rolling in Arch Manning. So help me. Whatever your Longhorns name is, what Betsy, Bozy, whatever the dang Longhorn's name is, so help me, you mess this up, and you're not coming back to this ever again.
We're not taking the Cincinnati 21.5 point over to Oklahoma State this week.
Hell no, you are banned. I am done with you. You can be in the top 25. You can be in the upsets. I am done putting you in parlays and bets. You screw it up every time.
Although, listen, that over 57.5 looks really, really good on that.
I'm not touching. I don't care. You do bet. You lose your own money on your own Bearcats. I'm done losing my money on your Bearcats. And listen. We've been killing these upsets. We're still 10 above 500 there on the locks. 14 upsets picked through 8 weeks. We are killing it here. San Jose State plus 130, South Carolina plus 172, Washington plus 176, SMU plus 245 over Clemson, Louisville plus 430 over Miami if you're feeling it. And in the you lose this game, you will be fired game, Stanford plus 580 over Florida State. And thank you. I knew it was a B. It's Bevo. So help me, Bevo. Arch Manning, you screw this up, and you will not be back in the lock section ever again. Whew. And after that, I need a breather. We're going to take a break because not only do I need a breather, I'm a little hungry. So let's talk some food.
Ken Straub here for Schmoopy Sweets and Treats, the official bakery of the Straub Bros Sports Show. And I'm also here with
Tella
and
Landon Straub.
And boys, do we have a lot to tell everyone about today. Schmoopy's is your go-to for all your bakery needs, gluten and dairy-free options for muffins, cheesecakes, rolls, breads, cupcakes, cake pops, pies, cakes, you name it, it's there. And boys, what do we think?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Me too, boys. So, if you need anything, especially in this fall time, make sure you get in your orders for pies and pumpkin rolls and cinnamon rolls. Place your order now at
Smoopy's Sweets and Treats.
Best commercial in the game. All right, Drew. Scrap the college. It's time to talk about the pros. And Drew, before I even let you put that graphic on the board, we're going to change it up a little bit, okay? I am no longer going to ask questions about every single game. We have moved far along enough in the NFL season that some of these teams are absolutely done, and some are not worth talking to until we know some draft time. Go ahead. Oh, yeah, your own team. All right.
My team.
Yes. So, first things first, yes or no agreements. These are my official cross-offs for the NFL season that unless something miraculous happens, we're just going to keep skipping it through. That would be the Jets.
Yes.
Saints.
Yes.
Raiders.
Yes.
Titans.
Yes.
Dolphins.
Yes.
Giants.
No.
Okay. We're going to go. All right. We'll leave the Giants out. Cardinals.
Just because of what we're about to say. Cardinals, yes.
Okay. Carolina Panthers.
Not yet. Give it one more week.
All right. Cleveland Browns.
Until Shedeur Sanders starts a game.
Oh, listen, Shedeur Sanders starts a game. We will be leading the show with Cleveland Browns talk. All right. I will turn into the crappy Rizzo video that I shared on our Instagram page, because if that is what you people consider sports talk in this town, I apologize. Sorry. That stuff sucks. Teams on the brink. Baltimore, the Chargers, the Bengals, the Bears, and the Cowboys. So you're very close to making. Yeah. So without further ado, give it to me, Drew. Give me the graphic and let's run through. And yes, we start with Thursday night. Drew, I told you last week you were going to eat your words and you were going to have to buy some Jackson Dart stock with me. Baby, tell me we sold the house and we're all in.
I wish I could say that, because as I was on my computer looking at the game, watching Jackson Dart play one of the best performances, and then have his CTE taken out of his system by Cam Scatabo in the 10th, and then come out and play better. I'm starting to become a believer, because I watched it, and that kid impressed me a lot.
So the funniest thing about doing the show is we have to be objective. We preached it to ourselves when we started it. We weren't going to do a show that just caters to us just talking about our teams and blowing smoke and saying they're the best, or we just weren't going to do that. I effing hate that this team is in my division, because I want to root for this team.
They're so fun.
So damn bad. Jackson Dart is awesome. I love everything about him as a quarterback. I love the swag. I love the riz. I love all that. Cam Scatabo is going to have a 6-year NFL career, and it is going to be the most exciting damn career as a running back you will ever see. I have never seen a quarterback. I have never seen a running back that needs to be concussed to then start playing even better. Cam Scatabo is amazing. Scatty Boy. Yeah, put that up. Yeah, we'll get the Scatty Boy is amazing. And yes, he busted down the tent to go check on his quarterback. The Giants are going to get fined or possibly lose a draft pick because the coach tried it too. But just, I love this team. I really do. I just hate that they are the Giants. And don't you ever compare Cam Scatabo with, although he is a hero, that bum and one-hit wonder, Peyton Hillis.
Peyton Hillis. Before Nick Chubb, Peyton Hillis was the most electric Browns running back in like 20 years. And listen, not saying he was great, but for that one season with Josh Gordon, by the way, the team that beat the Patriots, the Tom Brady Patriots and the Drew Brees Saints in back-to-back weeks, I'm pretty sure. That was electric, and no one can say otherwise, because that team for those 2 weeks looked like one of the best teams in football, and then decided to just tank the rest of the year.
If that does not describe Browns football since they've come back, I don't know what else is.
You know what? Go lose to the Panthers again, okay?
Those 2 weeks back in 2000 and something.
Go lose to the Panthers again.
When we won 2 games in a row. We
90s.
always lose to the Panthers. I told you we were going to lose to the Panthers. You can't make fun of me for what I already made fun of. Now let's get back to these games. Here's my question. We'll move on from the Giants. That's why they're not on the cross-off list, because I want to watch Cam Scatabo run, and I want to watch Jackson Dart get concussed and do dumb things at quarterback because it's fun. Here's my question on the other side, though. Is this post-Super Bowl run for the Eagles too much, on top of the fact that teams are starting to figure out that the passing game is not there and all they have is a tush push, a handoff to Saquon Barkley, and a screen pass to Saquon Barkley?
No. I mean, if we're talking about this group of players, I think this group of players is insanely talented. You just need some fresh ideas. And it's very possible that they just kind of ran it back with what worked last year, and it's not working. That's fine. But I think as soon as you start changing the game plan and scheme up a little bit, I think they're going to be just fine, because they have still one of the best receiving cores in the NFL. They have probably the best running back in the NFL, a very good quarterback in Jalen Hurts, and still one of the best offense. I said a good quarterback. I didn't say a great quarterback. I said a good quarterback, and one of the best offensive lines in football. And also, again, an amazing defense. This team is going to be just fine.
I mean, they didn't have Jalen Carter, but it shouldn't have meant that much. However, this is where I have to back off at some point, because I can't be too vocal yet. It's easy to rag on the Browns. It's easy to rag on the Jets. It's easy to laugh at the Cowboys. It's not easy to laugh at what I'm about to say, but I believe in it. Jalen Hurts is mid as hell. He is not an elite quarterback. He is a good dual threat guy. He's not great. I don't care. I don't believe it because I watch it week in, week out. This dude is not in the top echelon of passing quarterbacks in the NFL. The thing that saves his ass right now is that he's a good runner and he's got a great offensive line that will literally push you 5 yards every time that they hand the ball off, even if the running back doesn't do anything. And it saved him, and that defense has as well. I don't care.
No, I'm one. There is some truth to that, but I think there was a lot of hate and hater in that. But
yeah,
absolutely. But if we're being honest, listen, have we ever said that this guy is one of the best quarterbacks in the league? I don't think anyone's ever said that. And if they did, they're very wrong. However, I still think that he is a quarterback that can, with his skill set, lead this team to a Super Bowl. Not by himself, but by his complementary quarterback play. I think the thing is that we expect the quarterback to be the primary and the running back and everyone else to be the secondary option. It's just not what it is in this offensive scheme. Your running back is your primary and your quarterback is your secondary. Your quarterback throws the ball sometimes and sometimes runs out of the pocket.
My problem is that you're right. Like he's game managing and he's doing what he is supposed to do to lead his team to victories. But the smoke that gets blown up his ass for being mid and a game manager, when I've got to hear about Sam Darnold and I've got to hear about Baker and I've got to hear about all these other guys who that game manager is thrown as a knock, Mac Jones. I'm not saying that these guys are like leading their teams to Super Bowls, but every other game manager is a game manager. And he's not a lead, and he can't do it. Captain game manager over here, who's got an elite defense and freaking Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, like he's Joe Montana, and he's the rival to Patrick Mahomes. He's the Dusty Rose to his Ric Flair. He's the Randy Orton to his John Cena. I want to hear that. It's not true. The team.
I've never heard these comparisons. Maybe I'm just not on Sports Talk Radio enough. I've always heard people bash Jalen Hurts. I've personally not. The only time I saw people actually give Jalen Hurts credit was the playoff run that got them to the Super Bowl.
Well, okay, well, fine. I build my own straw man to knock it down. I don't care. All right, moving on. Broncos 13-11 over the Jets in wherever they were. In Spurs Stadium. That is a very Spursy game. They deserve that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could just chalk that one up.
Well, my quick question for you: can the Broncos win like this, or are they going to be our bad good team this year, where they're not good?
They're going to be the bad good team this year.
Okay, they're not good, but they win games.
As well as the team 2 teams down.
Absolutely. Speaking of them, Chargers, I hate them. What the hell are you? And is Justin Herbert good or not? I don't know. I do this for a living, and I don't know if he's good or not.
The funny thing is you can talk to people who have covered this league, like as an actual professional on-field sideline reporter for 30, 40 years, and they also can't tell you if Justin Herbert is good or not. And so we just got to let it happen. We got to let Justin Herbert play. We're not the Chargers organization, thank God, so we don't have to make that decision. We just got to watch and make our own judgments.
I don't know. I'm trying to watch and make my own judgments, and I don't know if this dude is good or not. And I mean, yeah, Daniel Jones absolutely has been a top 5 quarterback. We're about to get to that one. The Ravens.
Oof.
Can Lamar actually save this? They've said he's coming back this week. Can he actually save this? Or should Baltimore just shut this shit down and trade Derrick Henry?
Ooh, wow. The issue is, one, I don't think there is a big enough market for what you want in return for Derrick Henry.
I think there is one specific team, and I'm going to steal from my one of my podcast idols, Bill Simmons. The New England Patriots have an awful running game right now. Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson have been dog shit. They could thoroughly look better, or they would vastly look better with Derrick Henry in their backfield.
I mean, sure. However, I think thinking if I am the Ravens organization, I'm giving Lamar a chance to come back after the bye and try to save this.
100%. They're going to run it back because here's why. If all of a sudden Lamar turns into his MVP form and they rattle off 9 wins in a row, is anybody going to really go, wow, I'm surprised? No, you're going to go, well, Lamar's doing Lamar things.
Yeah.
But they're a week away from having to just shut this whole thing down and call it. Because
Which is very fair.
You're just going to get guys hurt. I don't think I have anything on this Colts game. Daniel Jones is playing like a top 5 quarterback.
Never thought I'd say that in my life.
I didn't either. I wanted him to stay with the Giants so we continue to own them, and now I'm rooting for the Giants. I'm still unsure about the Colts, and here's why. It's the game manager thing. When you don't have the most elite defense and you don't have an elite necessarily running game, when it comes down to the crunch time and it comes down to money time and it comes down to winning time, Danny Dimes is going to do Danny Dimes things, and the Colts are going to be sitting at home. So that's why
you could say, I was going to say, this team reminds me of like the 2019, 2020 Tennessee Titans with Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry. That's what this team feels like to me.
I like that. Good, but it's not there. Shit. Carolina 30, Cowboys 27. Listen, I told you. And hold on. And yes, Jonathan Taylor.
So was Derrick Henry.
But it's not. We've seen this with the Colts. Jonathan Taylor's great, but when it comes down to it, and it's 3rd and 6, and Daniel Jones has to make a throw, he's not going to make that throw. So I shouldn't have said they didn't have an elite running game. They do have a really good running game. So that's a good call out there by Ray. I still don't believe in Danny Dimes when it counts, but we'll see. Back to this Cowboys-Panthers game. I told y'all. I put him in the parlay, but I told y'all this is what we do. Our defense sucks. And here's the funny part. Take all your
It's
hate
not
out.
Micah Parsons.
Well, no, it's not Micah Parsons, but take all your hate out for a second. Dak Prescott's playing as good of a quarterback play as is playing at the quarterback position, as good as anyone in the league right now. Numbers don't lie. What you're seeing don't lie. This dude is playing elite right now. This defense couldn't stop UMass.
I get you. Just gotta build up in the draft and hope you have all your players.
Sure. I mean, so like I said, you can pile on all you want. I told you all year we're gonna lose a bunch of games, but we're gonna score some points. And you know who else has looked good this year? This way. There we go. You also know you also know who looks good this year? George Pickens looks amazing, and he's not a problem. So, I have no idea. I hope not.
You need to tell us for our fantasy teams.
I hope not, because I want a top 5 draft pick. I just want to lose these games 33-30 and 27-30 like this. I just want to have fun while I'm watching these. So, and yeah, thank you.
I don't know if that's fun.
Thank you for the UMass comment. Well, I could be putting 9 points up, and it would be a lot more depressing. Okay, how's that? You watch your mouth.
You just don't watch the game like I do.
Nah. I usually watch 4 at once anyway. So what's the difference? Here's a real question for you, especially with the schedule and with the way their quarterback has been playing. Can the Patriots upset this Bills run of division championships and owning this division since Tom Brady retired and Josh Allen ascended?
Will they give them a run for their money? Sure. Do I think that the Patriots are going to sustain this run of form, especially with the defense that's kind of been a little lackluster lately? And like you said, not a great running game. I don't see it. I think the Patriots are going to slip up a couple of games and kind of run out of contention while the Bills are going to Bills. And so obviously they don't look like the Bills right now, and we'll get to that. But I think the Bills still have this division under wraps for at least another year or two. But hey, what I'm seeing out of the Patriots is really, really interesting. And I want to see more of it, which is something we haven't said since Tom Brady was on the Patriots.
I lost my pen, so the Apple remote will have to work. Not so fast, my friend. I think this is it. I think this run is over in terms of division titles. I think the schedule is set up, and it's going to come down to that for me. It's an easier run. It's an easier schedule. I think the Patriots are going to upset that Bills run. Oh,
we said we weren't going to talk about this team. I don't know what.
You're right, but I'm going to talk about the other team, and this would be my question. The Steelers are now clear favorites, not just by Vegas, but by all odds makers and pundits, as the favorite in the AFC North. Barring injuries, that's pretty much the only thing that's stopping this team from hosting a first-round playoff game.
Fair. However, if I would be so kind here, they have beaten us, the Jets, the Patriots, which I guess I'll give them, but it was early in the year, and then the Vikings, which, like I said, I don't know who they are. And then they lost to the only other team that is actually capable, and that's the Seahawks.
You mean Carson Wentz and the Vikings?
Right. Like in Dublin also, by the way, so I don't even you can't even really count that as what. Anyways, what I'm saying is that Ravens are having a down year, Bengals are having a down year, Browns are having a Browns year. It's a cakewalk for them to get to the playoffs, but again, this is what they do. They get just good enough to make a wild card or win the division, and then they do nothing in the playoffs. They get hyped up. They are so ready for this game, and they're going to take it to them, and then they get blown out. It's the repeating cycle. It's the same thing with Penn State, and I've said the same thing with Penn State as I said about Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin, you did great. You brought this you brought this program that was at its high in Bill Cowher, and you kept it up there, but you're getting stale. You're doing the same thing every year, and there is no progression on this team. And I have yet to see you develop a quarterback yet, because you inherited Ben Roethlisberger from Bill Cowher, and then you had 3 straight rookie quarterbacks that have done nothing and now had to take rentals to stay and keep it above float. I know I sound like a hater.
You do.
But
a bit.
But I'm just speaking what I'm watching.
Counterpoint. This is true. Rodgers is not throwing like a bum, and this team is built for this. The problem for Rodgers has been when he went to New York, and at the end of that Green Bay. Well, the reason the Green Bay thing didn't work out is because he wanted all the money and he didn't want to spread it, and he just wanted to play with his friends. So then he goes to New York, a team that was not built for him. That was not a team that was set up for him to be successful.
And he does the same thing.
And it wasn't good. This Steelers team, and you mentioned it in your point that I think kind of makes the point on why this could work. All this team needed was a quarterback. All this team needed was a guy competent enough to stand back there and sling that thing around to the playmakers, hand the ball off when it was needed. And they have had such incompetence over the past couple of years that I literally called them not that long ago the worst quarterback room in the entire NFL. And the Cleveland Browns are still in the NFL. Okay? Right. They had clearly the worst quarterback room when it was Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett. The only thing that made the Browns worse was they went and got Kenny Pickett. So that quarterback room was awful. It was incompetent to play in the NFL. Now that you get a guy who's more than competent, he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of his generation. Those are his peers' words, not mine. And they look good. I know it doesn't always look clean. I know it doesn't always look pretty, but it's always winning right now.
Absolutely. And listen, I'm going to give them credit for winning the games they should be winning and looking good. However, just to kind of put it, Rodgers just barely clipped 1,000 yards this week. And so it's not like he's burning the world down there. He's 10-3 on touchdown to interceptions. They don't, other than DK Metcalf, they don't have another single wide receiver that I can trust. Calvin Austin and Jonnu Smith is not really giving me a lot of faith there. Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell look good, but they're not world beaters at running back. And then this defense, while looking good, like I said, time and time again, is insanely susceptible to the run. And so I can't, like I said, I can't truly give this team a shot in the playoffs. They'll get there. I have no doubt they'll get there. I cannot give them a shot in the playoffs when I see other teams that are going to be in there, like the Colts, like the Patriots, like maybe even the Chargers or the Broncos, and say they are definitively better than that team.
Do you know what other team had only like one playmaker and then some other guys that were a bit unproven and some running backs that were like, hey, these guys can hit, but then they miss. And then a defense who had some names, but was also susceptible to run? The Packers team that Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl with. So,
and yeah, you had prime Aaron Rodgers that could move, that could get out of the pocket, that could run when he needed to.
This is the most Aaron Rodgers-esque team that he's had since those runs. So I'm not saying he's going to the Super Bowl, but at least the puzzle pieces will fit together. I don't know if we like the picture, but the puzzle pieces will go together. Let's move on.
9-8.
9-8. Raiders and Titans. Cool.
Next.
Next. Baker, touchdown maker, MVP front runner to the haters.
Absolutely.
Tampa Bay handles San Francisco. Baker out there throwing to nobody. Okay. First, second, third string wide receivers out, starting running back out. They're on their fourth string left guard or tackle. What he's doing is amazing. Hold on, because I'm going to get my funny story in before this gets way out of hand. He threw a touchdown to one of their wide receivers. I apologize because I don't remember which one he was. They were interviewing the wide receiver after the game, and he said, man, I caught this touchdown, and they started chanting MVP. And he walks over to veteran wide receiver Sterling Shepard, and he goes, Sterling, I don't understand why they're chanting MVP. I only caught a touchdown. I haven't really done anything else this game. And he had to be let known that they were chanting for Baker. And his response to that was like, yeah, 100%. That makes sense. Baker's the MVP. So there you go. All right, go.
So not to continue this, feud that I have with the great man Ray in the comments, but I do remember during an argument that we had of him saying, well, yeah, Baker's going to succeed. He has 2 Hall of Fame wide receivers and an amazing rookie. What now, Ray? What else do you need to see from this man to truly say that he was not special as a quarterback? Yeah, thank you. I'm sure he'll blow it. I'm sure he will. This is what I have to say. Was the Baker the Baker experience in Cleveland as a section a success? I cannot say yes, because I cannot definitively say that his time in Cleveland was a net positive, right? He had a pretty good rookie campaign, and it was a breath of fresh air, but it wasn't great. Second year, he hit a wall. Third year, he looked amazing. And then year 4, he struggled, right? And then he goes to Carolina in a team that honestly, even now, looks atrocious, but is starting to finally turn the corner. But he was there in its depth when they had, Sam Darnold, who's also playing in Seattle and balling out right now. Then he goes to the Rams and gets one shot and looks phenomenal. And then he finally gets to a team that plays to his strengths, has a good defense, and has options to throw to him, even if they are not actual receivers that are named brand. They're people that can get open. And what does he do? He starts to put together a season that we all knew, or at least I knew, Baker had in him. So what I'm saying is I'm not saying the Cleveland stint the Baker stint in Cleveland was a positive. But what I'm saying is there was no reason you don't give that man more time to develop when you saw how much potential that kid had. And now that he's grown into a veteran, what he can do with a legit team that you had this year, that you had last year, that you had 2 years ago, when you had a insane defense, pretty decent wide receivers, a healthy Nick Chubb, an amazing offensive line. All I'm saying is you throw Baker in with this much experience now, and this is a playoff team. This is a no doubt about it playoff team playing for the division. That's all I have to say on that.
It was Tez Johnson. That's who it was, but stop it. We weren't supposed to do this week, guys. Okay. Ray brings up Carolina, which is a good point, although everyone sucks in Carolina.
Tell me who's played well in Carolina.
So this would be Point Ray.
Sorry, hold on.
Oh no, that's bad.
Not
No,
a chance.
No,
Not a chance.
No. As bad as this division is, you guys would be sniffing around going, I think we can win this damn thing if you had Baker Mayfield. So Point Ray, point back to Drew because he got dropped into LA literally on a whim, and that just it wasn't the correct. That's not an offense for Baker, and that happens to all quarterbacks. The problem is now I volleyed back to Drew. I'm gonna volley back to Ray. I think my problem here is, and I was gonna wait to bring this up, and I'm gonna bring it all in now. Baker looks good now. Now that he and I didn't say he didn't have options or didn't have not saying he didn't have talent. I just don't believe that was the scheme for him. Baker's good now. I love it. I'm here for it. Baker ended not well in Cleveland, although we all know he was injured. We all know he was playing through injury. We all agree it was the wrong thing. We all agree the coaching staff should have sat him. Let's take that out. Even you, sir, who's been this Baker defender, who I also know as the lifelong Browns fan, would not have sat through the Carolina years and through the LA year to then get to this. You guys would have been frustrated, worn out, and would have wanted to get rid of him. So I'm not saying Ray is correct, but I'm just saying for all of this, we'll look at Baker now. Look at Baker now. How would you have felt during the Carolina years? How would you have felt during that LA year? Would you have been able to still ride through that? Now, it still looks better than everything else you've gotten. So that's the only other thing that I got to give back to you. Other than a 6-game Flacco stretch, Baker in his bad years has looked better than Watson, looked better than Jameis Winston, looked better than Joe Flacco this year, looked better than I don't even remember some of the bums you were running out there right before Watson. Dorian Thomas Robinson, who was barely a good quarterback in college. Like, Baker's looked better even in the bad years than that. But I just don't know if this fan base that I know and get annoyed with very, very much, I don't know if you would have lived through that to then get to this Baker who's now good. I think better than
the issue is that Carolina did not have a
before Ray clarify, I'm confused by that. So just clarify in the comments.
But Carolina did not have what the Browns had that entire time, which was basically a top 10 defense. The entire time. You cannot tell me that Baker can't succeed with that defense that's been ran almost flawlessly for the past 3-4 years. While I've said that I would give Baker time, I would have given Baker time. Obviously, if he looked like he did in Carolina, we would be having a much different discussion. But we also didn't have Matt Rule as a head coach. We also didn't have an offensive line that was literally making him scramble every single play. My point is that this organization was not ready to allow him to grow into the player that he is now, even though he would not have been half as bad as he would be in Carolina because our team was much better. And also, when he had a competent team, he won. He's been winning. And Ray, who's catching the ball? Who's catching the ball in Tampa Bay right now? Who's catching the ball in Tampa Bay? Because you know who'd be catching the ball in Cleveland? David Njoku, Jerry Jeudy, David Bell before the injury, Harold Fannin, who's looked amazing, by the way.
You're not helping.
I am helping because these are players with a lot of talent that if they had a quarterback can get the ball. Flacco was throwing to Njoku and nobody and was winning, getting us into a playoff spot. I'm sure Baker could have done that.
Thank you. That's
yes. But hold on. I'm going one step above. Andrew Berry should not be here. That is the person we need to look on because, for being honest, other than JOK, who might not play football ever again, who is he drafted that we can say that guy's got it?
All right, I'm done with the Baker talk. We're gonna shelf this for a minute because I do 100% believe that Kevin Stefanski is a major part of your problem, and that's because the answer to your future is sitting on your bench. I was confused by which party he meant, and yes, that is from the University of Colorado, the man, Shedeur Sanders. That's who your starting quarterback should be. That man will lead you to the promised land one day. That man is going to leave whatever team he goes to the promised land, and I'm riding on that.
If I will say this on the podcast right now, even if it's not with us, if Shedeur Sanders ever starts a playoff game, not comes off the bench, if he starts a playoff game because he has earned the right, not because someone's been injured, I will buy his jersey.
Make it
if
I'll own a Browns jersey.
He can go anywhere and they can go, Shedeur Sanders off a great regular season is starting in this playoff game. That jersey will be in my Amazon account or NFL.com account or whatever as Fanatics account so fast.
You heard it here first. All right, let's get through this. We are running stupid long today. Packers over the Bengals. Bengals actually starting to look competent with Joe Flacco at quarterback.
Because he's actually throwing the ball to the receivers.
Right. How about that? The Kansas City Chiefs, they aren't dead yet. The defense and offense showing up this week. Is it too early to tell a love story, or is it still bad blood for the Chiefs?
I am skipping that and just saying the Lions look a little bit defeated in these past couple of weeks, and it's kind of telling that I think that the Lions team, one, really needed Ben Johnson, but two, just don't have the oomph they had in the past couple of seasons.
You did not like my terrible Taylor Swift punt, and that's okay. We'll just keep it moving. Has Atlanta actually turned the corner enough to make them a player in the wild card? We'll see. However,
if Bijan can continue to do what he did last week or this Monday night, sure.
However, the hell is wrong with the Bills?
It's a good question because I really don't know. There's times where they can drive down the field. They can drive down the field in 2 minutes and just put up points. And then there's times where I'm just like, what are you wanting Josh Allen? It honestly feels like they want Josh Allen to draw the play up on the football and then just make something happen every down. It seems like they're being too reliant on his skill set.
I don't disagree. And there's just not enough guys around him anymore. The money is not there. And the defense is just getting hurt every year and losing guys. And then guys are coming back from suspension. It's just not enough. The Bears over the Commanders. Commanders, I said you were back in the NFC hunt. Go back away. Caleb Williams and the Bears, that's the story. It's continuing to look better and better and better. And I'm glad because I was kind of getting tired of the Caleb Williams hate because it was becoming unnecessary and it was becoming personal the same way the shit is with Shedeur, but we're not doing that again. And then your teams on a bye, the Texans and Vikings. And yes, we already got it. It's noted. That's already written down. I got it etched in stone. Running out of steam. Let's get through the NFL this week. Thursday night, Steelers at Bengals. This will be
Joe
a fun
Flacco
one.
has the chance to do the funniest thing ever.
Oh my God, and just light the Steelers up. It would be freaking hilarious.
Amazing.
Rams at Jaguars. I'd skipped over that Jaguars game. Screw you, Trevor Lawrence.
Listen, I think it's gonna be. I think this is gonna be a game that's gonna truly tell who's legit in the NFC.
I'm talking about that 20-10 loss to the Seahawks. Okay.
100%.
Trevor
100%.
Lawrence, I hyped your ass up. Then you let me down. You better come back this week. Eagles at Vikings in a game I could care less about. I don't want to see a tush push for 12 plays of a
It's
drive.
gonna be a boring game.
Pats continue that run of easy schedule against the Titans. Titans just cleaned house. We'll see what happens there. In possibly the worst game in the NFL history, the Carolina Panthers take on the New York Jets. What? Oh, wait. Take that back. In what could be the worst game in the NFL, the Dolphins travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns. What the
so
hell
bad.
is that?
It's
Saints
so
at
bad.
Bears. Then we have got Raiders at Chiefs. Then we get to the 4 o'clock slate. We've got Colts and Chargers, Giants at Broncos.
Who are you?
Jackson Dart. Who are you? Oh, yeah, definitely Colts and Chargers. Who are you? Giants and Broncos. Broncos.
Who
Come
are
on.
you?
Yeah. Packers and Cardinals. Packers. I've been giving them some hate. I've been down on them. It seems personal for everybody else. It is personal. I hate them this year. But they also haven't been playing to potential, but they've been winning. So
Correct.
We'll see if the Cowboys can get them, or the Cardinals can get them right. And we'll see if the Cowboys can get Washington right and get that offense rolling. Because we know they'll put up
34-30 Washington.
That's fine with me. I'm cool with that. Just hit the over. Sunday night, we'll see if the Atlanta Falcons can stay hot against San Francisco. And then we've got, I'm kind of here for this. However, they're making the Sunday game suck because they want to have this 2 Monday night thing, and it's kind of driving me insane. But we've got 2 on Monday night. First of all, we've got a good one. Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers travel to Detroit to take on the Lions. And then later that night, we've got the Houston Texans and Seattle Seahawks, Buffalo Ravens, both teams on a bye. And by golly, probably 2 of the teams that need a bye week the most in the NFL right now.
Absolutely right.
The Ravens and the Bills. But a Monday night doubleheader that I will have about 27 and a half parlays going on. Your thoughts on those Monday night doubleheader?
No, I think that first game is going to be absolutely amazing. And I think for Seattle, I think you just got to take care of business and continue to show that you're a different team. Also, I did a quick scroll and I didn't realize how many Browns games there were left this season. And it kind of made me a little sad. So let's move on.
Oh, that's amazing. I do. We had a rough week last week. I mean, it kind of hit us everywhere. Last week's NFL parlay fell apart thanks to the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Bills, and the Commanders.
Not a great bet in that weekend.
No, but I do want to point. Listen, it was a bad week. I said it. We're still 28-10 against the money line, but I cooked up something a little different this week that I'm really, really high on. Okay, like almost as high as my locks for college football. I am high on this right here. Give me the Chiefs money line. Give me Bears -5.5. Give me Patriots -7. Give me Giants +7. Packers money line. Give me the Bucks Lions over, and give me the Texans Seahawks over. Put it all together, and let's make a house payment.
A lot of money.
Absolutely. That's how we get it done, baby. Whew. Brother, I'm running out of steam, but you're going to make me talk some footy, so let's get hyped.
Absolutely. Listen, obviously, international break is coming to an end. The games ended yesterday, so that means we have Premier League back, and it shows 4, I would say, pretty good games. Obviously, we start off at 7:30. Chelsea at Nottingham Forest. Chelsea looking to take that Liverpool win from 2 weeks ago and bring it back in against the Nottingham Forest team. Kind of struggling, but also bringing it back around. Aston Villa at Tottenham, seeing if Aston Villa can continue that good run of form and if Tottenham can bounce back. Newcastle at Brighton, who is going to be kind of taking the lead in that kind of 5, 6, 7 spot. And finally, the tough fixtures do not stop for my brother as Manchester United travel to Anfield to face a notably struggling Liverpool team before the break, as they had lost 3 in a row. However, the break could have fixed some things. We will see. Manchester United off a 2-game winning streak. Ken, what are your thoughts?
Is that Sunday? Am I Sunday?
It is. I think it's Saturday at 12:30.
Oh, no. Oh.
Hold on, I'm checking. No, you are Sunday at 11:30.
Okay. All right. The way in which I need my locks and my parlays and that Notre Dame game to all go the same way so that my weekend only crashes so far down is beyond words right now. Oof, yeah. Uh unless the
They look
international
sloppy.
Yeah, sure. They look sloppy. We won 2 games in a row. We come back from international break. This has all the makings of me coming back on this show next week going, I'm out. So I don't know. We'll see. Come on, Bruno. The new goalie, the new kid looks good. I've yet to learn how to pronounce his name yet. I'll get back to you on that one. But sure. Oh man. Yes.
I think you'll go. I think
A
you'll be
stressful
okay.
weekend for Ken is a nice way to put it. All right, you got one more thing to talk about. The floor is yours, sir.
Yes. So I'm going to start doing this more and more as the international breaks come, because in June and July of next year, I'm about to trip and fall here. As June and July of next year will be World Cup time. I've said it many a times, but now we are getting serious as teams are qualifying for the World Cup, and I want to start putting that out there so that you know how big this tournament is going to be. As I put up the graphic here, teams that have qualified, obviously the US, Canada, and Mexico are automatically qualified as they are hosting. As of a couple weeks ago, I secured tickets for me and my brother. We will be in Kansas City for one of, not the US game, but for one of the games. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. However, these
I
are
was
some
going
of
to
the
do that
teams.
afterwards. So thank you for taking my news.
But as of yesterday, these are the teams that have officially qualified through competition. Looking at some of the teams, Cape Verde, Jordan, and Uzbekistan are coming for the first time ever. Shout outs to them. New Zealand, Paraguay, and South Africa are in the first time since 2010. South Africa hosted in 2010, so it's the first time since they've hosted. So honestly, it was even further back because they automatically qualified there. And then obviously you have your big hitters: Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, England. Egypt is back with Mo Salah since 2022. Japan is in.
Who just
Uruguay
upset
is
Brazil in
in.
a friendly?
This is it's the biggest World Cup in history with the amount of teams. I'm gonna continue to update you on teams that have qualified. But Ken, obviously the US played this weekend. We're not going to discuss it too much. A draw and a win over the weekend. We're not going to get into the nitty-gritty, but as this gets closer, no matter how the US are doing, I am so excited that this World Cup is coming to the US and we get to watch it. It is going to be absolutely phenomenal.
Kansas City, you not ready for the Straub Bros. I'm just putting that out there right now. Kansas City is not ready for the Straub Bros Sports Show, and yes, we'll be doing something there. I know we've got a long time before we get there, but we will be doing some kind of exclusive, some kind of fun stuff, even if it's just a little documenting our trip to the World Cup. But we will be taking care of something. Shout out to those 2 teams that have made it for the first time. That is the best part about this. The only thing stopping Cape Verde from being the smallest country to make the World Cup is Iceland. So it's amazing. It's what we watch this for. It's what we live for. It's what we love. That'll do it for us here on the Straub Bros Sports Show. Long show today. Got some news for you. That's all right. We had a lot to fit into it. Got some news for you, and I'm going to be putting this out on social media. I'm going to be pumping it all week, so you know. 2 shows next week. 2 shows next week. One on Tuesday, one on Thursday. That way, we can split this thing up. We can do our review on Tuesday. We'll go through Drew's quarterback watch, my absolute knockout locks of the week, and we will do our review. And then on Thursday, we'll sprint forward. We'll start looking ahead. We'll do our previews. We'll put in some fresh bets. We'll make some new parlays. Drew will cook up some stuff for us on the soccer end too. We will have some more condensed shows. We're going to get that time back down to about an hour so we can get back to kind of giving it to you in a more digestible way, so you're not trying to stick around with us for 2 hours, because I know that is a lot. No, just no. I need a week.
Well, we're gonna cover it like baseball, where every so often we'll check in. If some big news
I just
happens,
said
we'll
no.
cover it.
I didn't mean to say just no like that, because like we're not covering the sport.
Actually, no.
I need a minute.
Screw that. No.
I need a minute. This college football and NFL stuff takes up so much time and has so much heavy hitting to it that. But yeah, we're gonna talk some basketball. Possibly LeBron's last year in the league. Track to see how this
his new Hennessy.
Listen, I drink Hennessy, so you don't have to convince me to buy some LeBron Hennessy. We will obviously keep track of the Cavaliers and how this kind of tinkered with team is going to look, and count down the days till we trade Darius Garland. But with that being said, that'll do it for us here on the Straub Sports Show. I want to throw Ray's comment up. Appreciate you, big guy. Thanks for Nate as well. You already know it. Acknowledge it, baby. We here. Thank you for Ray for doing our little back and forth in the comments. We're gonna have more of that coming up. Basically, Ray came out and hit you with a chair last week. This week, you ran into the ring to hit him with a chair, and he scurried away down the entrance ramp. So we will see what happens next week here on Monday Night Raw. But thank you to everybody who tapped in with us. Special shout out to a couple of my people who jumped in from all around the world as well. Straub, final thoughts?
Yeah, listen, thank you guys commenting, watching, however you support this show. Only shout out this for this weekend. Last MLS weekend, before we setting up the playoffs. I know Ken does not care. However, playoffs are starting. It's going to be a fun time. My FC Cincinnati is sitting nice and second in the table, while lowly Columbus is barely in a spot in ninth in the East. And even lower, however, not completely last. They are third to last is Ken's LA Galaxy. Probably one of the worst seasons after a championship that I've ever seen. Yeah. But hey, that just means that a sport that you are a league that you don't pay attention to, you can pay attention to even less. So you're all good there. But shout out to that, because that's going to be a fun weekend to see who makes it to the playoffs.
You already know. You took the words right out of my mouth on that one. Enjoy the weekend. Big shout out to, I said, my cousin Cassidy, our cousin Cassidy, who's getting married this weekend. Much love to her. And I got to give a shout out to my guy Craig, too. Him and his lovely wife, they're renewing their vows this weekend. So I will be attending that later that night as well. A beautiful weekend of love and college football, and you people getting married during big college weekends. I feel like Cassidy should have known this, but we're not going to talk about this anymore. That'll do it for us here on the Straub Bro Sports Show. That'll do it for Little Bro Drew. I'm Big Bro Ken. And remember, as always, to love yours.
Hey, Ken's got fire and a wild hot take. Hey, Andrew's stats make the whole place shake. Hey, laughing loud when your team goes down. Hey, Straub boys run this sports town. Show. This is the Straub Bro Sports Show. Sundays, Mondays, we live for the fight. Hey, college game day and Thursday night. Hey, rivals fall and the banter flies. We bleed our teams till the day we die.